It's your boy Cheap Ludes, and I'm going to do something a little bit different today on stream. I typically don't do stuff like this, and I've never really seen anyone actually do this before, at least to my knowledge. I'm not saying I'm the first one that's ever done it. I just personally haven't seen anyone do it before. And that is, we're going to be doing a tier list live on stream. Now, look, I'll be completely honest with you guys. I'm not going to see your comments for a little bit because I'm going to be doing the tier list, but I will scroll through them afterwards. So, it is what it is. I will see your YouTube comments, actually, once I upload it. So, if you guys are new to the tier list sphere, at least mine in general, let me go through the parameters real quick. And I'm sorry you're going to have to sit through 2 levels of parameters because I'm recording the shooting guard tier list right after this. So... All right, S tier, unquestionable best cards in the game. When I say that, I mean the most complete cards in the game. For certain playstyles, certain guys who are in A tier might even be better than guys in S tier. Overall, the most complete cards in the game that are the best for a vast majority of playstyles, if not all of them. A tier, right there. Maybe there's 1 or 2 issues, 1 or 2 playstyles they don't work with that I'll talk about. B tier guys, this is what majority of the community is going to be using. These guys are pretty much overall really solid point guards. C tier, middle of the pack. I mean, if you can upgrade to a B tier point guard, you should. But I mean, there's even going to be guys in C tier that might even be better for you personally than some of the guys in B tier. D tier, you should upgrade, but there's still some use. They can do a few things. I'll talk about them. F tier. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, you should probably upgrade. There might be an F tier guy here and there that I actually kind of like. It just kind of goes without saying. It's the territory. So let's get started. Also, tier list really hard this year. I'm trying to rank between current gen and next gen variety of play styles. So look, I'm probably going to put a card that you love a little bit too low in your own personal opinion. I try to be like as unbiased as possible. Sometimes it can't happen though. Like I try to be unbiased when I talk about Biker Boys and Torque, but Biker Boys is superior regardless what Metacritic says. Let's get underway. Daniel Gibson, D. Look, as much as I like Daniel Gibson, I have to face reality that he is a shoot first point guard that can do literally nothing else and plays absolutely no defense. His jump shot's fun this year though. And the same could go for John Barry, who look, realistically, Pistons legend John Barry, he needs a better guard, but this one, I mean, they got him after the male pattern. After the male pattern baldness, that's when you guys had to do my man John Barry like that. The absolute audacity. You couldn't get him with a full head of hair, or at least like half. It had to be bald John Barry. That's honestly disrespectful. Fully evoed Slick Watts, I would put him in C tier. Some people may put him in B tier. It just kind of depends, but for me personally, I think C tier makes a lot of sense for Slick Watts. He's not particularly great at anything. He's a good defender. He can attack a little bit. He can shoot a little bit. He's just not really great, particularly at anything. It's just kind of there. Signature Steph. A. I know this one is what's going to cause main issues here. I'm not even looking at the chat at this point, like when I do this. But Steph is decent, right? He's decent at defense. Decent. You can hide him enough, all right? But he's not the most complete point guard in the world. He's not a dunker. He's not really a great defender. For that reason, I would throw him in A tier. If you run a very particular type of play style, if you're a three-point hunter, Steph's one of the best, if not the best offensive point guard in the game. Let's keep it real. But his defense keeps him in A tier. Dejounte Murray, pretty much the exact opposite. His defense puts him in A tier, where his offense, you could see him dropping down to even B tier offensively, but I think he's really good. He's basically like a much better Drew Holiday. Aaron Brooks. As much as I like this card, he's not exactly C tier material. I mean, has Aaron Brooks ever been like a C tier guy? No. Baron Davis. Baron Davis is actually pretty solid this year. Yeah, someone like Aaron Brooks has a better badge count, but Baron Davis's jump shot is a little bit better. He moves a little better. All things considering, I would take Baron Davis over Aaron Brooks. Bob Cousy. Look, he's not really that great, but he's good enough to be like low B tier. Remember, I do rank them within tiers as well. So even though Steph Curry and Murray are on the same tier, Curry is better than Murray. Get it? Bob Cousy is not going to be the top of B tier. He'll end up being down towards the bottom somewhere. My man smoked Kent cigarettes during games. Like, the fact that they gave him like a high stamina is crazy. Calvin Murphy. D. I, I know there's going to be like one random Calvin Murphy stand that's going to be upset right now, but it is what it is. Kyrie Irving. Diamond Kyrie is B tier. He plays like no defense, so he's basically a worse version of like what Steph does, essentially, like what he brings to your squad. Good though, but low B tier, mid B tier. Spencer Dinwiddie. Dinwiddie is actually really good. 6'6". I think he's one of the bigger point guards that we have available to us. Overall, super good. I wish his defense was a little bit better, but other than that, Dinwiddie is sick. Is he worth the price tag that he's currently going for? Yeah, he is. I think he's as worth it as Murray is. Chris Paul. Primetime Chris Paul is probably like B tier. He isn't horrendously slow jump shot as he typically does, and he is the smallest player build in the game. Like Trae Young looks bigger than Chris Paul this year. That being said, he's got some of the best steal animations in the game and plays really good defense. So if you're looking for a traditional, like true point guard, Chris Paul is kind of your man. And this, by the way, this Chris Paul, either masked or unmasked, like I don't think I put the masked version in here. They're the same card basically, so B tier. Kobe White. This hurts me, but Kobe White deserves to be in C tier. Look, I would use him over Bob Cousy, but I have to be realistic here, and he's a tier below Bob Cousy. Cole Anthony, same thing. I would put him like right here, C tier. Like Kobe White's ahead of Slick Watts because I'm a Bulls fan. Let's keep it real. Cole Anthony's not bad. I mean, every early game Cole Anthony we get is good. Damian Lillard, he's probably the top of these like offense only Ruby guys, so I'd put him at C. Darren Collison, D tier. At this point, this was the early game GOAT though. De'Aaron Fox, if he could shoot better, he'd be up in A tier, but he's basically like worse Murray, essentially. I put him ahead of Chris Paul in B tier though. I would take Dinwiddie over him. Dunktober Dennis Schroeder. Look, I'm not as harsh on this card as other people are. I think he deserves to be in like low C tier. Just because he can't shoot threes, people automatically think a card is trash because of that. Dennis Schroeder can do everything else pretty well. He's just got a horrendous jump shot. Like, it's so bad. And for that reason, I'd put him in C tier. He's better than Baron Davis, though. But I'll take Cole Anthony over him. Walt Frazier. Walt Frazier's still A tier. Like, he is. Walt Frazier's really good. I personally don't like the Joe Ingles base on point guards, but other people seem to love it. You could argue he's higher than Curry. You could argue he's lower than Murray. It really doesn't matter. Controversial one. Look, Jose Calderon is better than Bob Cousy. I don't care what anybody says. And this is why I'm not looking at the comments right now, because stuff like this is usually what gets me flamed. But it's facts. Plus, he is Hall of Fame set shooter, and if you're someone who runs a kind of pick and pop offense, and you get someone with like either gold or half break wall that's got a big player build, and you sit them in front of Jose Calderon, you can trigger that set shooter and you will cash so many white threes. It's crazy. Calderon is actually really good. Regular Steph Curry. His badge count is pretty big, but they're all silvers. So, I would put him in like C tier. He's okay. Like, he has no hot zones either. That's like the other thing that's like hurting him. Dennis Smith Jr., you know what? Because you can lower overall cheese with this card, if that was still a thing that we could use, in like an actual capacity because of skill-based matchmaking, I'd probably put him in B tier. You know what? He's better than Calvin Murphy. I'm going to put him low end C tier. He's better than Baron Davis and Dennis Schroeder. I don't care. Diamond Derrick Rose, B. If he could shoot better, he'd be an A tier, but B tier makes sense for him. Both of these Derrick Roses are essentially the same. I think I have another one around here. I'll find him later. I would put him a little bit lower, and still ahead of Chris Paul, though. I'm a man of speed. By the way, Derrick Rose does not need blinders. There's absolutely no reason to go get this version of Derrick Rose as opposed to the other one that's significantly cheaper. Just saying it. Eric Snow. Eric Snow is really good. Do I think he's as good as other content creators do? No, absolutely not. I was really hyped on the glitched Eric Snow, but my hype turned sour because everybody's a little too hyped on him. He has a really awkward and weird jump shot. He can't dunk. He plays pretty good defense, but he just moves weird. And for some reason, If you're using a ball dominant shooting guard, he always comes off the ball and doesn't carry it. It's really weird. It might be a current gen problem, but something to address. Fred Brown, Dece, like he's like C tier. Freddie Lewis, I wish we get a better Freddie Lewis card, but I'll throw him in F tier for now. Yeah, I'm using Booby Gibson over here for sure. Fred Van Vliet. I would his combination of defense and offense, he deserves to be in B tier. That's my opinion anyway. He's better than Bob Cousy. Jose Calderon, I actually prefer over Fred Van Vliet, though. I know that's like sacrilegious. Devontae Graham, he's like the second best card in C tier. Oscar Robertson. Is this card worth locking in? Absolutely not. 0%. But that being said, like he's still probably B tier. He's still higher up in B tier too. I'd put him like right here. He's better than De'Aaron Fox and Kyrie. I actually don't care. I think Dinwiddie might be a little bit better, but you could argue Oscar's better than Dinwiddie as well. Like it doesn't really matter. Stephon Marbury's just worse Derrick Rose. Like, C. He's better than Devonta Graham. Jason Terry. So non-masked Jason Terry, I think, is actually A tier, and masked Jason Terry, he does have that gold blinders. I'd probably throw him in A tier as well. This Jason Terry is superior to this one. The gold blinders is not really worth the significantly better defensive tendencies that the non-masked version has. This one has legitimate end-game defensive tendencies, whereas this one has like what you would expect Jason Terry to have right now. So for that reason, I personally would go with the non-masked version. But it depends on your parameters. Either way, Jason Terry is fire, though. Like, I would probably rank it like this, honestly. Like, this Jason Terry goes real high. This Derrick Rose, I mean, same thing, like right there. I knew he was around here somewhere. Steve Nash, controversial again, but I really think Steve Nash is C tier. You just can't tell me he's that much better. Like, Jose Calderon is arguably the same as him, but just slightly better. I don't know. Maybe he's like low B tier, I guess. Oh, Gary Payton is literally S tier. This dude clamps up centers. Like, it's not even fair. This card is super unfair right now. Damon Jones, he's the best card in D tier, I would say. Calvin Murphy, I'm going to drop him. I don't care. Monte Morris, he has a decent jump shot. For that reason, I'll give him D. Gilbert Arenas. Arenas gets no love whatsoever, but I actually think this card is really good. Like, I'm not kidding, I do. His jump shot is kind of weird, but other than that, he's super fire. Dave Bing. Dave Bing is not good. If he had a better jump shot, he would be one of the top point guards in the game, but he has set shot 4. If he had Bingo Smith's jump shot, he literally would be S tier, I think. Everything else about this card is absolutely fire, but his jump shot is so bad. Like, literally, set shot 4 is the worst. Gus Williams, this isn't 2K21 in the first week. You get an F tier. Once again, controversial. Isaiah Thomas, S tier. Gary Payton is better, but these are the two S tier point guards. Pretty much everybody knows that. As far as like the parameters that I've set for S tier, you know, they're the two overall best point guards in regards to being able to fit any style and any mold. If you want a 3-hunt, you can 3-hunt with both of these guys just fine. They're both lockdown defenders. They both can attack the rim. They can pretty much do everything. That's the only thing keeping out of Curry out of S tier, okay? Curry stands, 3-point hunting guys that are mad that he's not in S tier, all right? Jalen Brunson. Brunson's actually not bad. He's like B tier. Darren Williams. I would say Darren Williams is B tier as well. A little too pricey, but still good. Base 22 is nice. Jalen Suggs. Jalen Suggs is superior to all the guys in C tier. For that reason, I would throw him in B. Allen Iverson. Iverson, B tier as well. I don't think he's quite A tier anymore, but Iverson is nasty. 2K22 Jamal Murray. I mean, he's not great. Like, this is the starter Jamal Murray that some people got in their promo packs. He's like relatively okay if you have him. Jameer Nelson. I mean, he's not terrible. People were saying this card was the GOAT when the game was first out. James Silas. I mean, he's fast. That's about it. Jason Kidd, garbage, F. Johnny Moore, not very good. Jason Kidd's actually the worst card on this list. John Stockton, I want to put him in D tier, but he's like C tier, right? Same with JoJo White. JoJo White's really good. I cannot wait until we get a real JoJo White card. I'm hoping we get it in the NBA 75 packs, fingers crossed, because JoJo White is always an early game monster. D Brown. Honestly, D Brown's not bad. Like, he's not. I would probably put him in like, high C tier, if not low B tier. I'm going to think about him. Bob Cousy goes to the bottom of B tier. I'm probably going to drop him to C tier. I'm going to drop Bob Cousy. I don't care. This Jose Calderon I would put in C tier. It's the offset shooter that really sets this one apart, if I'm being completely honest, because it adds a whole new layer to the card. This one's great. If you have this card as your point guard, like, he's still fire. It's just that offset shooter, man. Jrue Holiday. I still love Jrue Holiday. I do. Sometimes I use him and I hate him. Sometimes I like him a lot. I prefer Murray overall for the amount of rim running that he brings to the team and the speed. But Jrue Holiday is still one of the best defensive point guards in the game. Lowry's not bad. See, this Kyrie is where'd you go? The exact same as the diamond one. I would actually prefer this one because he has blinders. Yeah. Louis Dampier. Oh, you already know. Louis Dampier gets to go in B tier. He's so good. I don't know why people hate this card. I love this card. He is literally my favorite card in the game. And I'm going to executive order Louis Dampier into B tier. Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, like D. Mo Williams, decent shooter, horrendous jump shot, C. Muggsy Bogues, look, it's not for effort. Muggsy tries so hard, but he's just so small. For that reason, I got to put him in F tier. Patty Mills, still good enough to go into like C tier. Pistol Pete. He is one of the most unstoppable offensive point guards in the game. And for that reason, I'd throw him in A tier. You could argue that Pete is better than Curry. You could argue they're the same. I don't know. Rondo is a beast. People hate on this card for seemingly no reason because he can't shoot threes. This is the best defensive point guard in the game. He's better than Jrue Holiday. He's better than Dejounte Murray, who I never say his name right. I don't even know why I insist on saying his first name. Ron Harper. Ron Harper's actually my boy. We go way back, but I'm going to put him in C tier. He's good. He's huge. He plays defense. I just wish he offensively was a little bit better. Big Russ, A tier. First off, he's got the 0-shot 3 tendency, which means people don't guard him out on the 3-point line. And if you have played current gen in the last 2 days, you'll know that for whatever reason, the CPU stopped contesting 3-pointers, especially in the corner. And that's especially true in Russell Westbrook. Only a 79 3-pointer, so it's not great, but this card is still so stupid. These Russell Westbrooks, though, I would put in C tier. They're excellent rim running cards. I'd probably put them somewhere around Dennis Smith Jr. Like, DSJ can shoot the 3, so he's a little bit better in certain cases. There's absolutely no reason to get the masked version, though. You do not need blinders on Russell Westbrook. This man cannot shoot at all. Like, Seth Curry. Seth Curry and Patty Mills go right next to each other. Sleepy Floyd. Yeah, I mean B tier. I would put him in B tier. I don't think he's fallen off a little bit in regards to badge count, but he's still solid. Non-signature Steph Curry. The Hall of Fame chef really helps Steph, but I would still probably put him at the end of A tier. Like, you could argue Pistol Pete. It doesn't really matter. This is the best card in A tier. This is not the worst card in A tier. It's really hard to rank these guys in A tier. I'd still probably put him ahead of Mass Jason Terry. I don't know. Does it really matter? Like, you know what it is. Tim Hardaway, C. Tony Parker is just really small. World Be Free, if we get a World Be Free card, just like JoJo White, they're going to be a monster. And then Trae Young. A. Trae Young's super good. Everything I said about Curry goes for Trae Young as well. I know some people don't like him. On current gen, his jump shot is almost too fast, but I personally think he belongs in A. I'm sure you guys will let me know what you think. So, as always, it's been your boy Cheap Loots. Thanks for watching the video. Those of you in stream, I will talk directly to you in a second. I will be back with the shooting guard tier list as well later. And take it easy. Don't go too hard on me in the comments. Like, peace out.